Good evening. Yesterday we had the schus. We started Mesechus, Kidushin Daf Beis. Today's share is going to be Kidushin Daf Gimel. They're going to begin Daf Beis Amud Beis, the second to last line, V'had T'nan. The last thing the Gemara was trying to figure out why Mishnah uses a lashon of derech and not davar. Now the Gemara asks V'had T'nan, and this that we learned in a Mishnah in Bikurim. This is a Mishnah in Perek Beis. Mishnah Vav, the Mishnah says, Esrig shava le'ilam b'shleish drachim, that an esrig is similar to a tree in three different halachas, which we'll explain in a second what that means. So the Gemara asks, Lisni devarim, how come the Mishnah over there doesn't use the expression devarim? Why does it say drachim? Mele in our Mishnah had to use derech to teach me a derech of certain, the derech of bia, etc., as we learned yesterday about Riches. But how come in that Mishnah doesn't the Mishnah, the Tana of the Mishnah, use the expression of devarim? It should have said esrig shava le'ilan b'shleisha devarim in three things. Why does the Tana over there say derachim? Now, what are these three things that esrig is similar to a tree? So there's the halacha of orla, there's the halacha of neter rivai and shvis. Orla is, as we know, the first 3 years of a tree. Your one is not allowed to eat that tree. That's the din of orla. The peiros se'ilah for the first 3 years, it's orla, and it's also ba'achila. So just like a tree has the din of orla, so too esrig also has the din of orla. The second thing of rivai, peiros which grow in the 4th year, the halacha is they have a din of neter rivai, and they have to be eaten in Yerushalayim, or you have to be paid with money. Take that money and buy it in Yerushalayim. So the halacha is that applies as well to esrog. Now, what's the third thing? The third thing is the din of shvis. Peiros, as Rashi says, the peiros se'ilan, which bud in the 8th year, so the halacha is that it has the din of shvis. The lekita, the picking of the fruit, was only done in the 8th year. The din is that it does not have the same din as Yerokes, that if you went ahead and did the lekita in the 8th year, it doesn't have the din of peiros shvis. Rather, fruits of esrog has the din of peiros se'ilan in regards to the chanota. That's what Rashi says. Begimel drachim orlo ruvai noig boy ilan ulein shvis holchem bepeiros achar chanota ki ilan v'le achar lekita ki yorek. So the din is that, and it has the din of orla, just like a tree, it has the din of neter rivai, and as well in regards to peiros shvis, we look at it the peiros of when the chanata was, when it bud, and not when it was actually picked. Okay, then the Mishnah says, okay, so now the Gemara question is, how come the Mishnah, the Tana, doesn't use the lashon of devarim? So the Gemara answers, Mishum tebe'inan masni seifa, because we wanted to the Tana wants to teach the end of the Mishnah, uliyarik b'derech echad, that an esrog is similar to a vegetable in one manner. So since it uses the lashon of derech, the Reisha of that Mishnah also uses derech. Now, what is that b'derech echad? So Rashi says shebeshas likitosei isurei, that when it comes to a yerokes, we look at it when it was picked inside meiser. We don't look out when it actually bud. Ela achar shana shenilkat voiki yorek in the mefarish time of the kamon. And as Rashi says, the meisers are mishtanes kesed hashanim. As we know, different years have different meisers. The first year has meiser risan and sheni, and the 3rd year and the 6th year is meiser ani. So it's a big nafkamina when the actual likita was done. So and based on that, that's how you know which meiser it's mechuyev. So the Mishnah says esrog shava le'ilam b'shleisha drachim. So the Gemara asks, why not say devarim? Because the Sefer said uliyarik derech echad. So since it uses the expression derech here as well. So how come the Sefer of the Mishnah over there doesn't use the expression davar? Why are you saying uliyarik b'derech echad? Gufa. You should say uliyarik b'davar echad. So now the Gemara says Daf Gimel Amud Aleph that Hasam Kamash Malon over there. The Mishnah Bikurim is telling me that Kamash Malon. The reason why the Tana uses the lashon of derech is to tell me that the reason why the esrog has a din of vegetables in regards to being koveya the actual year of when to give meiser is to tell me is the darki the esrog kiyorik, because the way an esrog grows is just like a vegetable. That just like a vegetable needs to have rainwater and also regular irrigation in order to be successful in its growth, so too, ma yorak darki the godal kol mayim, just like a vegetable needs to have saimek shomim, needs to have rainwater and meyashaka, so and and we judge the actual vegetable when the lakita of the lakita is when it's koveya the fruits for meiser. Af esrog darkly godal kol mayim, so to esrog as well. It needs make shamim me'ashaka in order to grow, and therefore b'shas likitase isurei. So the reason why it uses the expression derech is to tell me that the reason why it is compared to an esrog is because it grows the same way as an esrog. Okay, so now the Gemara continues to challenge this idea of derech, davar, etc. So now the Gemara asks, we learned in a Mishnah in the Mishnah over there in Bikurim, the Mishnah says akoi, it's a suffix b'chlal, it's a suffix, like Rashi says, it's a suffix chaya, suffix behema. It's a suffix if it's a domesticated animal or a chaya. So now the question is, what's the status of this koi? It's machlekes and achrein and mishnah what exactly koi is. Some people say it's a buffalo, but al kapanim, the Mishnah says a koi yesh bei drachim shava l'chaya. This koi, whatever the animal is, has similarities to the din of a chaya. What's the din of a chaya is that just like a chaya animal needs to have kisei hadam after shchita, so too this animal koi also needs to have kisei hadam after the shchita. V'yesh bei drachim shava l'behema, and it has also ways which is similar to behema. For example, the chelev is aser ba'achila like the chelev of behema, and the Mishnah says v'yesh bei drachim shava l'chaya ula behema. It has also ways that it's similar to chaya and a behema. For example, and it's shchita like chaya behema, not like dogim and chagavim, which are mutter ba'achila without shchita, like the grasshoppers, and the v'yesh bei drachim she'im bei shava leila chaya leila behema. It has also ways which is not similar, not to chaya, not to behema. For example, you're not allowed to be marbia, a koi with a behema. It's also to marbia with a chaya. So we see that this koi there's different halachas in regards. Now, what's the Gemara's question? Nisni devarim. Why does the Mishnah say over there koi yesh bedrachim? Why not use a very normal lashon and say devarim? It has it has things. Yesh bedrachim, yesh bedrachim. Why does the Tana of that Mishnah choose the expression of drachim? So, and furthermore, we had this Mishnah in Gittin a few months ago. The Mishnah says Zoi. The Mishnah says a halacha that Zoi. What's Zoi? So the din is that somebody who brings a get of a woman or a shtar shichur, a document of freeing a slave from Chutz La'aretz to Eretz Yisrael. So the din is the Chachamim made the takana that the shliach lehilacha has to say befanai nichtav, but befanai nechtam. So the Mishnah says, Zoi, these are one of the halachas, the halacha of a b'fanei nichtav or b'fanei nechtam is achas min hadrachim. This is one of the ways. Sheshavu giti nashim le'shichrei avodim. That the get of a woman is compared to the documents of avodim. So the question is, nisnei devarim. Why not use the expression of devarim to say zu echad min hadvarim sheboi shavu giti nashim? Why not use the expression of devarim instead of drachim? The Gemara says a new answer. So whenever there's a machlekes in a matter, tani drachim, the Tana will use the expression of derech because there's a machlekes in that halacha. Whenever there's no machlekes, everybody agrees to that halacha. Tani dvarim, the Tana uses the expression of dvarim. So our Mishnah uses the lashon of isha niknes b'shalish drachim is because there's only in these three ways is one allowed to be mekadosh to a woman, and not in any other ways. And as we're going to learn a little bit later about chuppah, dekonami, also you can be medayik. The Ktani Sefer, what does the Sefer of that Mishnah Bikurim tell us? It says in regards to esrog, Rabbi Eliezer says esrog shava le'ilan l'chol davar, that an esrog is similar to ilan in what? L'chol davar. So now, according to Rabbi Eliezer, there's no difference between the esrog and other trees. So that's why he uses the expression of davar. Not like the Tanakame, who explains that the chiluk between there's different halachas, and since he uses the expression of there's no machlekes, so that's why he uses uleilam l'chol davar, because there's no machlekes there. So therefore, Shmami no, you could learn that when there's a chiluk, he uses when there's a machlekes or there's a chiluk, I use drachim. When there's no chiluk, I use dvarim. Okay, so now the Gemara goes on, continues to analyze and dissect the Mishnah. The Mishnah says that there's 3 ways that a woman could be acquired to a man. The Mishnah said, kesef, shtar, ubiyah. And the Mishnah also used the expression, it tells me that ha'isha niknes, and how much and how many ways b'shalish drachim. Now, any 5-year-old can count 1, 2, 3, kesef, shtar, ubiyah. So why does the Mishnah have to tell me the obvious and tell me that a woman can be acquired in 3 ways? I know it's 3 ways. I read the Mishnah. Why does it have to give me a number? So the Gemara asks, what is the number of the ratio? What is it coming to exclude? As we said, what is the purpose of actually saying a number? And the Gemara asks as well, the number of the Seifa, when it says, what is it coming to exclude? So the Gemara says, when the Mishnah tells me, it's telling me that it's excluding that when it comes to Kidushin, as we explained, the Kidushin, the times of the Gemara, that would take place a year before the actual chuppah, you cannot be Mekayim Kidushin with chuppah. Chuppah does not work. Chuppah is only by Nisuin. And that's why it tells me a number, to tell me that dafka these 3 ways are not chuppah. According to Rav Huna, the Omar who says chuppah kaina, which according to Rav Huna, he agrees that chuppah can be kaina with Kidushin, mikal v'chemer from a kal v'chemer. So he's going to tell me that chuppah does work. Why does the Mishnah give me a number of how many drachim a woman could be acquired? So the Gemara says, according to the Ravuna, lemutei chalipin will come to exclude the kinyan chalipin, which is a kinyan of chalipin is like what they do, like by Pesach, you give you do an exchange. So and there's different types of chalipin, but the idea of a chalipin is you're doing an exchange. So it's when the Mishnah, according to the Ravuna, is telling me it's coming to be the kinyan of chalipin, which will not help to mekadesh a woman. Now that's what the Mishnah says shalish, because dafka these 3s are not chalipin. And the Gemara says, I would think since I'm learning Kidushin, that a woman can be acquired with money, is because from kicha Mr. Efren, we explained yesterday, Agzeda Shavav, kicha Mr. Efren, so Masa the Mekanya Bechalipin, just like a regular field, one could be kind of this field with Chalipin, Avishanam Mekanya Bechalipin, a regular woman also, I would think, could be kind of from Chalipin. If I'm learning out Agzeda Shavav, I should learn that in Gansen. And just like by a field, it could be kind of with Chalipin, the Cha'oida Soto, a woman should be kind of with Chalipin. Therefore, the Tana of our Mishnah tells us, and these 3 and not in Chalipin. Fred the Gemara, 1 second. Why shouldn't I not say that a woman should be koine with Chalipin for Kiddushin? And for the Gemara, Chalipin isno bepachas meshava pruta. You should know that the possibility to be koine chayfetz through the transaction of Chalipin, that can be done with a value of less than a pruta. The Isha and a woman, bepachas meshava pruta, a woman less than the value of a shava pruta, that loy mekanyan asha. She will not, as Rashi says, she will not be makna herself. She will not give herself over to the man. It's a knife for her to be mukudeshes less than a shava pruta, and therefore kinyan chalipim will not work by Kidushin even if you make it with a kli, which is shava pruta, it will not work because chalipin does not work by Kidushin. And that's why it gives me the number. According to Rav Huna, mitzat chalipin, and the reason why it doesn't work is because less than shava pruta le'mikanya nafsha. Okay, you have many different ways to learn it, but this is the pashtu pshat. Frag the Gemara minyan of the seifa, the minyan, the number of the seifa. When the Mishnah said what's it coming to exclude? The Gemara says the mutei chalitza. It's coming to exclude that a regular woman, cannot be koine herself back with chalitza. Why? So I would think that I should learn a kal v'chemer from the halachas of Yavama. My Yavama sheni yitzah beget. We know by a regular Yavama, Yavama cannot get out of the Yibum marriage with a regular get. she either has to do yibum or chalitza. However, chalitza does work. So Zoe, this woman, she yaitze beget, which a get does work. L'cha'ira, any din she yaitze bechalitza. Shouldn't chalitza work? So I could think that chalitza should work by a regular get. If a woman wants to get out of the marriage, chalitza should work from a kal v'chemer. And therefore, the Tana tells me that only b'shtei derachim she can be kaina herself. Frag Gemara, the obvious question: why don't I say that a woman could leave the domain of her husband with chalitza? Why don't I learn the kal v'chemer from the chalitza of the yivama? So the Gemara answers and says, you have another issue. On Makra, the pasuk says, because of law, what does it say? Sefer Krisus. It says it has to be a book of severance, which we just had the whole Masechta about. Sefer Korso, only the get is actually Kairos, the husband from the wife, and chalitza doesn't work. It has to be actually a get. Okay, now the Gemara is going to focus on the first transaction. We said the Gemara says bekesef in regards to money. Minalon, where do we know that a woman can be acquired with money? How do I know that? And furthermore, the Mishnah Ksubis. This is a din in regards to a basktana or naira, a woman who is either a minor or she's 12 years old. So the halacha is, the Mishnah said, that the father has the rights to be mekadesh this woman, and he gets the kesef or the shtar, and he could force his daughter to be mekadesh with bia. So we see clearly that the Mishnah says, so the question is, first of all, where do I know that this woman can be mekadesh with money, and also bekesed avuhu, and that the money should belong toward the father of the katana or the naida? So Rav says, the Omar Kra, the pasuk says, in regards to Omar Ivriya, who is a maidservant, which this maidservant became 12 years old, became to the halacha of naidis. So the din is, the pasuk says, v'yotza chinam ein kosef, that she goes out for free and she does not get money. The pasuk over there is speaking about a Omar Ivriya, that the Adon did not marry her or didn't give this her to somebody, to her son, and there's no grain kesef over there. So the halacha is, if that this naira goes out, the Adon does not have to give her any money. Yotza chinam ein kosef. Now, the question is, why does it have to use the expression ein kosef? Just say yotza chinam, she goes out for free, and there's no money transaction given over. So from here, Rabbi Rav says, ein kosef Adon zeh. This Adon, the master of this Amma, when she leaves his rishus and goes to her own rishus, then there's no money there. There's no money exchange. However, aval yesh kesef l'Adon acher, but there's going to be money to another Adon. In other words, when the daughter leaves, is miskadeshes while she's an ida, and who gets this? Ha'av. So from ein kasef, I say ein kasef Adon zeh, that in regards to the Amma Ivriya, there's no money, but in regards to another transaction of kinyan kesef, there will be. Where is that? That's by the case of a naira. So the Gemara says, why don't I say that the Kidushin Kesef should go to the daughter and not to the father? So the Gemara says, could you ask this question? We know the father has every right to be Mekabel Kidushin. Why? Because what does the pasuk say? And from here I learn that the father is the one that gives his daughter. In other words, what does that mean? That he has the schus to be Mekadesh to his daughter. The how you talking? And she should go ahead and actually take the money for sure. If the Tater is giving the husband, or the father, I should say, the right to be Mekadesh his daughter, obviously the Tater is giving him the right to be Mekabel the Kiddushin. When should I say this? That as Biti Nasati means that the father gives the daughter over for Kiddushin. Ubemela, he is Zoiche in the Kesef Kiddushin. Maybe that only works by a Katana de Les Lo Yad the Kabel Kiddushin, which she's not a bastas, and therefore, since she's not someone who's a bastas, she cannot be mekadesh herself, and therefore she needs her father to be mekadesh her. If the father is mekadesh her, so the father gets the money. I will naira the isla yad the kabel kiddushin, but the din of a naira has the din of a gedela, and therefore she can be mekadesh her own kiddushin. So taktish ir nafsho v'tishko kaspo, let her be mekadesh herself, and let her take the money. So what do I know? That a girl who came to the naira and the father, and she was mekadesh, let's say herself, that the father gets the kiddushin. So Amar Kra, the pasuk says, "Binureo beis avia." The pasuk says, "Well, she's an ureo beis avia," which teaches me kol shavach, that all the money that is in the hanurim while she is in the stage of anaira, le'avia goes to her father. So now ask the mother ve'ela, but if you're saying that that Kidushin Naira is shaykh to the father because of binureo beis avia, but Amar Rav says. Where do we know that? When the daughter works while she's a naira, whatever she makes goes to the father. As it says, it says when the guy sells his daughter as a maidservant. Now, what do I learn from la'ama? But just like a regular amma, the whatever she makes goes to her master. So to the daughter, whatever she makes goes to her father. But according to your words, you should learn that the Kidushin Naida is shaykh to the father from Binureo Beis Avia. So why do I need to have a pasuk to tell me about La'oma? Typically, just learn it out clearly from Binureo Beis Avia. According to you, all the Kol Shvach HaNeurim. So if Kol Shvach HaNeurim, it's Koilel also her Ma'is Yada, which is shaykh for her father. Why do I need to have another limud? Ella, rather, the Gemara says that we don't learn the Ma'is Yada for her father from the pasuk of Binureo Beis Avia. Rather, we learn it out from Hafaras Nedarim B'Duchsiv. Rather, I'm sorry, that pasuk is speaking about the annulment of vows. That when a daughter makes vows, she's in the reshus of the father, he could annul her vows. But you can't learn from here that the father has the schus for the daughter while she is a naira. So therefore, Rav needs to tell me another drasha to tell me that the ma'isa goes to the father. So Hanami here too also in regard to the schus of the father for the kedusha of the daughter who's a naira. Don't learn from this pasuk because Hafaras Nedarim B'Duchsiv, this pasuk is speaking about Hafaras Nedarim. So now the Gemara says, maybe I should learn out Hafaras Nedarim that just like a daughter and who's a naira is in the reshus of her father in regards to Nedarim, so too she's in the reshus of her father in regards to Kiddushin, and therefore the Kiddushi Kesef should be his. You can't learn that out from Hafaras Nedarim. Why? Because I have a general klal. I don't learn out the halachas of money from the halachas of Isser. So I should learn out that a father could be zeicha the money of the Kiddusha of his daughter while she's in naira from the halachas of Einis Mafata. And we know that it goes to the father. So the Gemara says, and I don't learn out the din of mammon from din of knas. Let me learn out that the Kiddushi Kesef of the Naira should go to the father, as we know when it comes to Beishas Ubagam, that the Einis has to pay the father. So the Cheda, just like over there, goes to the father. Kiddushi Kesef, the Cheda should also go to the father. So the Gemara says, Shani Beishas Ubagam, the Tashlumi Beishas Ubagam is different than Kiddushin, the Avua Shayach Begavayo, because the father of the Naira is Shayach, because he should be under the Baishla. So therefore, it makes a lot of sense that it should be his. But Kiddushi Kesef, which the father is not shaykh to, maybe doesn't go to him. So then tomorrow we're going to learn furthermore into this discussion. Have a wonderful night.